Since last time I saw you guys, I have gone a little knit crazy. I have 3 garment whips going. It's been a bit rainy around here, so there's nothing much to do. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Pearls with a Twist. My name is LA, and this is episode 3. Today we are going to be doing a normal type podcast style where I'm going to be going over my finished objects, which I have 2 small ones, 3 whips, which are all garments, and then a few acquisitions. Originally, I was planning on releasing my spring 2026 planning video first, but I just started cruising on some of my leftover hopes and dreams from winter. So I figured as far as for timing, I'm going to do this little regular podcast first, and then next week I will release my spring 2026 planning video. I'm really looking forward to that one. But I'm also looking forward to sharing all this with you. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Today we're going to just go over really quickly 2 finished objects. They are the final finished objects of the winter accessory season. And you can see them right here on good old Evie, who I finally somehow managed to fit into the shot with me. So say hi, Evie, say hi to everyone. Everyone, this is Evie. Okay, let's start with this hat that I'm sure no one has heard about before. It's called the Musselburgh hat. This is knit up in Junie and C yarn in the fingering weight in the colorway. Hold on one moment. In the colorway Goodbye Earl. And it's a Musselburgh hat. You guys have seen it before, but super cute. So fair warning, this is only going to be on for a few short seconds because I'm already overheating in the object that I once again forgot to tell you about. So as penance for that, I will keep this on while I'm talking about that. Just kidding. We'll get better at this, I promise. So anyways, it's your Musselburgh hat. There's not a ton to say that you probably don't already know. It is a great pattern. You basically knit one big long tube, stockinette stitch. The great thing about this pattern is you can use any yarn, any gauge. You start the hat and knit just enough to get yourself a gauge, which you then refer to the pattern so that you know exactly how to knit it up. It's very simple, mindless. It's a great one for on the go. And again, it is the Musselburgh hat by Isolde. And then, as you can see on our dear sweet little Evie, we also have our second finished object, which is a Sophie scarf. This is the only whip I brought into 2026, and it is now done. So that feels good. I made this Sophie scarf using Hazel Knits Artisan Sock in the colorway Guac, held together with Rowan Kid Silk Haze in the colorway Jelly. It's so cute. I love the colorway, and I love how these 2 accessories work well together. This green pulls out the little specks of green on this colorway, and it's pretty cute. I'm hoping there's enough cold days. I'm hoping there are enough cold days left so I can throw this on at least in the mornings and get a few wears out of it before we hop into spring. Now, before we get into our whips, I need to introduce what I am wearing, and introduce as if she has a personality, but she kind of does because I kind of love her. I am wearing the Harlow sweater by Caidree. This is the version with the turtleneck, obviously. I knit mine up using Juniper Moon Patagonia Organic Merino in the colorway Pearl, held together with Madeline Tosh Silk Cloud in the colorway Ivory. It is a wonderful combo. I go into a little bit more detail in episode 2. If you want to check that out, I'll have that right here. And I absolutely love the sweater. It's the only reason why I wish we get a little bit more winter before we hop into spring, but I'll probably get maybe one more wear out of this, and then I'm going to need to put her away until next fall, more so winter. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing right now. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into my whips. Okay, it's time to get into the meat of this episode, and those are my whips. So since last time I saw you guys, I have gone a little knit crazy. When I said I was only bringing 1 whip into 2026, I was not lying. So that was the Sophie scarf. Now, we are at February 20th, I believe, and I have 3 garment whips going. It's been a bit rainy around here, so there's nothing much to do. So let's start with the first one I casted on in 2026, and that would be the Weekender Light by Andrea Mowry. I had no plans of casting this on. I cast this on purely because I was having my first round of FOMO, because as you all may know, Brooklyn Tweed has decided to close its doors, and I have never ever used it. So working at a yarn shop, there was some still left on our shelves, and then I grabbed myself a quantity to make the Weekender light. This is Brooklyn Tweed Loft in the colorway Long Johns, and I'm enjoying knitting with it so far. I did, however, make some changes. So this is supposed to be an Italian cast on. However, I was kind of struggling. This is the first time I've worked with a woolen spun yarn, and I was really struggling with that cast on. And then I also was really struggling with the fact that this is a bottom up pattern. So I decided to actually do a provisional cast on, not only to circumvent having to do the Italian cast on, but also to allow me to adjust my ribbing should I need to if the body is too long or too short after knitting the stockinette. Nice thing about this is even though you're seeing nothing but purls, you do knit this pattern inside out. So you actually are doing regular stockinette stitch for the majority of the body, for all of the body, and you finish it off with rib. Now here's a few issues I've run into. I did try this on. Now please note, I have not blocked this. So everything I say is without the knowledge of having blocked this fabric yet. I went to try it on. I did the short rows in both the front and the back, and then seamed up the shoulders and tried it on. First problem, this is very narrow for me. I have no idea. I did do a swatch and I did block the swatch, but I still really don't have a good idea of how much my armhole is going to stretch. So that's making me a little nervous. And the second thing is with the short rows in the front, I'm not enjoying how it feels. I already struggle with this, but I deal with it because I love the sweater so much. But I want to avoid that in this shirt, but I want to avoid that in the Weekender light. So I am considering to fix both the armhole problem, the arm depth problem, and the higher front hitting my neck in a weird location by undoing these seams, frogging back to both sides, frogging back to prior to the short rolls, adding an additional inch of regular stockinette, then bringing the short rolls back in for the back section, but skipping the short rows on the front section so that the back will be higher and the front will be lower, and hopefully that will help me avoid having that really awkward feeling on the front of my neck. Again, I have not blocked this, so I'm not sure, and I always do a mid-project block, but what makes me nervous is I have no idea how easy it will be to frog back loft after I have blocked it. So if any of you have worked with loft before, I would love to hear what it's like to actually tink back on loft and whether or not you think it's worth the risks to first block it, see how much of a depth I get, and then go ahead. But regardless of what I do want to pull back the short rolls in the front. So I kind of feel like since regardless of what I want to do, that's happening, then I kind of feel like I should just go ahead and frog back. But I'm really excited to hear if any of you have worked with loft and have some suggestions. And I hear Jude. Hey Jude, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? I'm not sure if you guys can see him, but he's right here. He wants to be a star. And Piper's right here. You can't see her, but she wants to be a star too. So that is the Weekender light and the status of the Weekender. When I hit that little road bump is kind of when I stop working on this. I need to come up with what my next steps are going to be so I can go ahead and get this wrapped up. Because I don't think I want to hibernate this. It's up in the Pacific Northwest. A sweater like this would still come in handy in the early spring, early summer. Possibly all of summer, depending what kind of summer we get. All right, so yeah, that is the Weekender Light by Andrea Mowry, and I do look forward to hearing from you guys what you think I should do. All right, let's move on. For garment number 2 that is currently in process, we have the Home Camisole by Caidree. This is a bit of a treat. I work in a yarn shop, and we were gifted a gift certificate from the shop owner, and I use this to purchase myself some Cardiff Classic cashmere in the colorway Navy. It is so soft. So this is a treat to myself. As you can see, I am pretty far into this pattern. I have completed most of the body, excluding the bind off. I have completed the I-cord edging on both the neckline and the armholes. I did add an additional item, which was to do a false seam by including a purl stitch on both sides completely along the body, just to add a false seam and hopefully add a little bit of additional structure for the garment. The only other thing is I am not going to be doing, I don't believe I'm going to do the I-cord bind off for this, just because this is such a nice treat, and the I-cord bind off I feel will make it a little more casual than what I'm looking for this cashmere. So I think I'm actually going to do a double knit bind off. We will see. Everything else is to pattern. It just fits so lovely. I'm really excited to wear it. The only thing I'm concerned about is, you can see I haven't blocked this, is that there is a little bit of tension, there's a little bit more tension on this I-cord edge than this one, but I'm hoping this will all just correct itself in blocking. If it doesn't, then I will just redo the I-cord edging. So again, really excited for this. It was such a treat, and I'm so thankful to our shop owner for our little Christmas gifts. And yeah, so Home Camisole by Caidree. So let's move on to the final garment in process. As you can see, I'm not as far along on my third garment, but I am very much enjoying it, and it is also checking off a goal of mine, which was to do an all over cable pattern. So if you can't tell, why can't you tell? This is vest number 8 from My Favorite Things Knitwear. I am knitting it up with Knitting for Olive Merino in the colorway Oatmeal, held together with Knitting for Olive Soft Silk in the colorway Oatmeal. And it's really cool. I love it. I'm having a lot of fun. I was a little nervous about doing my first all over cable pattern, but what I did was, when I was working on the swatch, I immediately taught myself how to do cables without the cable needle, because I don't like fiddly, and that just looked like it was going to be, from remembering when I was doing my gloves, it felt real fiddly to be working with a cable needle. So I went ahead and taught myself to do it without the cable needle, and I am very happy I did. As you can see, I have completed the back section. This isn't the full back, this is just the trapezoid in the back, upper back section. And then I've completed the right front shoulder, and I'm just about to complete the left front shoulder. And then I should be about ready to start joining in the round and knitting flat. I have to force myself not to work on this one, because I'm really enjoying doing the cabling, which I'm surprised about, again, if I've already said that or not. But yeah, I'm really excited. And I think this is going to be great, especially in the Pacific Northwest. This is going to be a great pattern for the spring, because it's everything in the Pacific Northwest is all about layers. So having this vest will be great for that. I don't see this being on my needles for too long, because it's just like, this is kind of what's keeping me from knitting on the Weekender Light. We'll see. I might put the Weekender Light. I might hibernate it. I don't know. But yeah, so this is the third whip. And again, it is the vest number 8 from My Favorite Things Knitwear. And that takes care of all of our whips. So let's move on to acquisitions. I'm going to go ahead and move Evie out of the frame, because this looks a little inappropriate. Okay. I am suffering from a little FOMO caused by all these yarn companies that are shutting their doors. We already had Brooklyn Tweed announce earlier last year that they were closing their doors, and now the fiber company has joined, which is very sad. Working in a yarn shop, I have access to yarns all around me every day at work. So it's a bit of a struggle, especially when these yarn shops keep closing, especially when these yarn companies keep closing on us. So I have done a few acquisitions lately, more so than I normally would. So let's just quickly run through them. And I can't guarantee they'll be the end of my purchases from these companies that are closing, but we'll try to keep them at a minimum. I love Erin Moore Light. So I have made 2 purchases so far of Erin Moore Light. The first one is in colorway, oh boy. Here we go, guys. Welcome back, glasses. So anyways, my first acquisition, my first and my second acquisition are both Erin Moore Light from the Fiber Company. Erin Moore Light is a DK weight that is made up of 80% wool, 10% silk, and 10% cashmere. It is a dream to work with and it is a dream to wear. I bought it in the colorways Clarin, which is this dark tweedy brown. I'm not even going to try to get this in focus for y'all close enough to where you can see the colorway. So there will be a picture somewhere around here for you to look at. I bought enough of these to make myself a sweater or longer cardigan. So I'm really looking forward to this. I love this brown. It's very rich. Nothing will happen with this until fall at the earliest, but at least I will have it and it won't have disappeared from all the shelves around the world. The next colorway I bought it in was, oh, my parents are going to disown me, but Glenview Castle. Huh. Sorry, Mom. My parents are both Scottish, so, and my whole family's Scottish, so they're going to disown me right now. Glenview Castle. This is a gray with creams and white tweed bits. Again, this is 80% wool, 10% silk, and 10% cashmere. I bought enough of this to make some sort of vest. The first colorway we didn't have enough in our shop for me to purchase, so I actually purchased from so I actually ordered online from a different yarn shop for the first colorway of the Erin Moore Light. In order to get free shipping, I had to spend a little bit more money. So I did. And I bought some Juniper Moonshine, which I have never tried before, but it's so beautiful. It is a luxury blend of Peruvian Highland wool, extra fine baby alpaca, and organic silk. I bought 2 skeins of this. This is in the colorway Espresso. It is a rich brown, and even though I think I just said that I would probably not ever make a Sophie scarf, Sophie shawl. I feel like this actually would make an adorable Sophie shawl. I've never knit with this, so I don't know how it will do as far as holding up stitch patterns. So I don't know if I want to do anything more intricate, but I definitely think I have enough. I have 2 skeins of this. So I definitely feel I have enough to make a medium-sized shawl. This also won't be, and none of this is going to be made until the fall at the earliest. There is one more colorway I am looking at purchasing, but we'll see. I may not. I think I might have enough, but we'll see. That's the problem with working at a yarn shop. It's all at your fingertips at all times. All right, well, that is really about everything I have to show you this week. Like I said, I kind of put this episode before my 2026 planning video for 2 reasons. One, I went into a knitting frenzy and I wanted to get this all out to you before I finished it all. So that was one reason. And the second reason is because when I sat down to do 2026 planning, I noticed that that is just not my personality type. So I'm going to be sticking to the seasonal planning videos with some overhead goals. So next week, be on the lookout for my spring 2026 planning video. I've been doing a lot of work on it and I'm really excited to get it out to you guys. Yeah, so anyways, that is it. Thank you so much for sticking around if you're still here. Again, let me know your thoughts on the Weekender Light and how you think I should proceed. Or also, if you have any fun vest patterns that would work great for this Erin Moore Light. Erin Moore Light? Or the cardigan. But really, right now, the most important thing is that Weekender Light and how I should proceed, whether I should block it before proceeding or just go ahead, frog back to right before those short rows and move on from there. Hey, baby. Come here. Up here. There we go. Here we go. Oh, here. There we go. You want to say hi? Can you see her? That's Piper. Say hi, Piper. Who's a pretty girl? Cheers. Yes. Yes. Cheers. Cheers. Good job. You're such a good girl. All right, everyone, that's about all I have for today. So thank you so much if you're still here. Stay cozy, have fun, and cheers. That was a good girl. You're such a good girl. I think we're done. Hello. That was a frog. Welcome to... Wow. Please do feel free to call me up. Yeah. Woo! Gosh darn it. Oh, hey, Boots. Hi, Evie. All right. Okay. Let's have a sip and do that again.